the Mrs. Nebraska USA 2019, all the way from Nebraska, our wonderful sister and good friend, Mrs. Cheryl Superable Lindemann has come to Arizona, and we're so glad that we got her to be interviewed right at home. So let's welcome Cheryl Superable Lindemann.
Thank you, Teria, and hello everybody that's watching right now. I'm so honored and glad to be here, to be able to visit Arizona again.
Yes.
And here talking to Teria at her show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor that you came back to Arizona, and now you are the Mrs. Nebraska USA 2019. And as you are, one of the things that I am very happy about you is when I look at your Facebook page, and the first thing that I have seen is this, when you wrote there, I am blessed and highly favored. My steps are ordered by the Lord, and I trust Him with everything in my life. That already sums up so much about you. So tell us more of what you have been through, how you came to America, and maybe, I'm sure there's so many of our wonderful Kalbayan who will be inspired with your story.
Okay. Hi. So I came here in 1994 from the Philippines as a fiancé visa.
Mm-hmm.
I was 18 years old.
Wow.
Very young, no experience. Came over here to marry my knight in shining armor. And as I came here, things changed.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through a lot of cultural challenges, adapting the culture itself, and not knowing what's tomorrow going to bring. But I know in my heart that the courage I have to leave the country, Philippines,
mm-hmm.
at that young age,
Mm-hmm.
is from God.
Yes.
So no fear, when you're young, you're not afraid of everything. And with me, I was not afraid of everything, knowing that I have God with me. So I came here, supposed to marry the love of my life, my knight in shining armor, but then come to find out that he was not the man, because
Mm-hmm.
his life is out of control.
So tell us, you said about control issue. What kind of, can you describe that?
Okay, control issue he has with me is like, he makes decisions with everything.
Mm-hmm.
He, what says goes. I mean, he's always right. My opinions are not really listened, never heard,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just new in the country. So what he says goes.
Mm-hmm.
He will, buy groceries. A lot of time, he will just have yogurt because he doesn't want me to gain weight.
Oh.
At that time.
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes out and not come home for a few days. He just leave me in the apartment
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And coming from the Philippines, you think this is just normal. And then that was just the beginning of just little things. But I thought, oh, he just care about me because
Mm-hmm.
he's this. I mean, how will
Because you're 18 years old.
18 years old and fresh from the Philippines. So we don't know a whole lot.
Yes.
It's like in our culture,
Yeah.
we thought different
Mm-hmm.
thing than how it is here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So we, so I thought it was just normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to do now he started from the controlling one, it moves on to a verbal abuse. He started making fun of my English
Mm-hmm.
in front of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was funny. I laughed along with it
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't really
To
know
please
anything. Yeah, to please him, and I don't really know any different.
Uh-huh.
But the longer I stayed here, the more uncomfortable I was,
Mm-hmm.
because why do you always make? He always does that in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
He does that, behind closed doors, but more on outside
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I don't like that, But of course, I've never been hurt because
Mm-hmm.
you think I'm sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
and so fast forward, the longer we stayed, then it progresses. So from controlling to verbal, then the emotional. I found out he was cheating on me. I mean, all the years of our marriage, 6 years of our marriage, he had been cheating. There were few women aside from me. And so that where the emotional is. And I've already heard a lot of his, some of his family support saying that, well, you need to leave him. Some of my friends said, that's not the way how to live. I mean, you deserve better. But see, when you're already on that, your culture, you don't believe in divorce, and then coming here and you thought this is the man of your dream, and then you seek counsel.
And you're thinking that he will change, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Yeah, I was about to go to say that was the praying. The praying.
I'm sure many of our audience would like to hear more about this very juicy part.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can look at the audience.
Yeah. So you believe. You start believing things, and then you start thinking, okay, this is the normal thing. Because as time progresses, you started questioning your own self. And so from controlling to verbal abuse to emotional abuse, so it's slowly progressing. And then so now you're going to start thinking like, was it really me? Maybe I don't communicate enough. Maybe my English is wrong. Or maybe I'm not good enough. So in my case, deep within me, I have the sense like this is not right. But culturally, coming from the Philippines, when we don't believe in divorce, I'd called my dad one time, and I asked my dad, and I told him, what am I supposed to do with this thing? My dad said, you put up with it because you married that. You married the guy till death do you part. So I went along with it. I did everything over. I even gave up some of my belief, my boundaries. I only know, though, I never really convey it to him, that the only time I will really give up is when a physical come in. Now, some of my friends were telling me, why wait for that? Yes. Well, raised as a Christian, you pray and you have faith that he will change. Yes. At that time, I don't realize that change is not going to happen easily. It's a roller coaster emotion, because there are times when especially when he's drinking, because he has alcohol problem, he's got gambling problem, he's got so many issues going on, but I'm not saying he's a bad person. He just have wrong choices, and he doesn't know how to let it out or how to fix it. And the only way, and as women loving that kind of person, we always have the hope that they'll change. An excuse for them. Exactly.
You're just listening to your conversation now, you're still giving him the excuse.
Right, exactly. Well, because I'm looking at it two sides. To be fair, he when I met him, he was really a good man. I mean, when you're working in a fire department and helping people in an accident, the fire, for 13 years, you have to have a good heart to do that. So, but mixed it with the wrong crowd, plus there was drugs involved, it will really change a person. So there's so many factors that made him being that. So, because I believe the abuse is a learned behavior. Kids won't get born with that character. So, so as the life goes on, they are aware of life journey that they experience made them the person that they are, made the heart in their heart, and so on and so forth. So with that, it go on until the physical abuse came in. And that's when one night, I will always remember this, Memorial Day weekend. He came home, and I normally go out with him, go out drinking. Okay, I did a lot to please him. I became a people pleaser. My self-esteem, this is over the course of time. My self-esteem was gone. I'm always doubting myself. You forget who you are.
And you completely lost yourself.
Right. And you believe whatever they told you that you're this, you agree. and that's now no way to. But within me, I know somewhere deep in me, I know, because I'm going drinking with him, and I go to church the next day, still kind of drunk, and I pray. I said, Lord, this is not what I want. Yeah, I said, but I could not. I said, what am I supposed to do when you said, submit to your husband. Okay, and there's no divorce. What am I supposed to do when your husband is leading you the wrong way? So there was confusion. There was a lot of asking God, how I know this? God, why this? Because it is confusing. And for someone that's still trying to learn the culture, going through it, and learning people, who you can be trusted to, it's just combine everything. It really is taking too much. So then you're only gonna end up holding on to him because, maybe it's our cultural thing. He helped me. He brought me here.
Utang
It's
na loob.
utang na loob. Yes.
Pilipina
Yeah, I owed you.
character.
I feel like
Yes.
I'm owed you something, so I have to be there.
Yeah.
Even if they already walk all over you, that was a lot of people had told me that it was wrong, but they're from here, and so it kind of our belief system.
Yes.
It's not like that. So,
At what point in your life that you
when he
find
put
that-
a gun in my head, he put a gun in my head Memorial Day
Wow.
weekend, that evening. He came home drunk. He was mad. I don't know if he got into an argument in the bar. All I know is that he came into the door. He was mumbling or like saying things. I could not understand it. And he lay down next to the bed with me and pushed me out of the bed. And then I already know, and I was told in the Philippines that when you're dealing with drugs, don't say anything.
Yeah.
It's just don't argue, because they don't make sense. So I keep myself quiet. I just, after pushing in the bed, I came back, I get up and go back to the bed. And he did it again to a point that my body was hurting. So I decided to go to the living room and sleep in the couch. And then he followed me there. He followed me and he says, what are you doing? Why are you sleeping here? And I says, well, I figured, in a very calm tone, I says, I figured that you keep pushing me in the bed. Every time I go back, you keep pushing me and my body hurts. So I guess you don't want me to be next to you, so I'll just stay in the bed. And he went back to the bedroom, but he turned the air condition so low that it was freezing. And then he was still like talking about something, like arguing with someone. And then the next thing I know, he's already playing with his gun, like saying awful things, like swearing things.
God.
And I remained calm.
Pointed the gun on you.
Yeah, no, he came out, and then he was saying things, and I was cold because there's no blanket. He ripped my clothes. So I was like, so then I try not to. So at that moment, he was already playing, and fear started to set in.
Yeah.
Because he's drunk, maybe he's high even. What if he will pull the trigger? What is he gonna do? Why? Is his anger towards me? Is it someone else?
So after this, how did you find your voice to stand
No,
up against him?
I have to say, after that, the next day I went back to work because I was working overtime that day. My boss was there. They wanted to call, they wanted me to go to the emergency room and then call the cops on him. Well, I was thinking of his kids because I was the second wife and he's got two kids, the young one. I don't want to ruin their lives by the thought of their dad is in jail. So I picked up the phone and called him, and he said he did not remember a thing. So since then I said, you know what? I said, I'm not going to go home. I don't know. It's just that strength of like come what may. That was like, come what may, I'm going to speak up. So I told him, I don't normally say it, but at that time I says, did you know what you did? And he said, no. I said, did you know that you almost killed me?
Yeah.
What? He could not remember a thing. And I said, okay, going forward, I don't really want you to go home if you have even one alcohol in you. And if you do, if I could smell it, I'll be the one to sleep somewhere else in my friend's house.
Wow.
Knowing that, I know it's going to be a hard part on him because he loves to drink. So he started not going home. And that was then just the beginning of, okay, I need to go move on. But that was it was just when I asked for miracle, God did not only save me from that, but God gave me strength.
That's true.
To go forward and make decisions. It was scary, but there is that supernatural strength, if I'm gonna say that. And it's only gonna be
you.
Yes, and it's only gonna be coming from above, because who else?
Yeah.
Well, so that's how so to make the long story short, we split up, and I just keep moving on. I keep moving on, but I always have God in my life. I never go on, without Him, and my strength is from Him.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
It shows, because so many things happen to your life after this.
Yes.
And I know because of the support of your family, of the people around you. I knew you from Atenita, and that is how we become good friends.
Right.
It's through the Casildo family,
Right.
and Clarissa. I know they had been instrumental also.
Oh, yeah.
In making you
So
a part of the huge community here in Arizona.
right. So going through that, what's really important when you're going through this, that's when you really hold on through your friends. You really need to have a support system.
Yes.
Because when I was going through that, I did have Atenita and her family, Casildos, the Clarissas, but I also have my church family at Faith Christian Center. They mentor
here
me.
in Arizona?
Yes, they are in 26th Street in McDowell.
Oh, good.
So, the pastors there
Yes.
were there with me all along. They've been my mentor, and they keep saying, God is always there. He is no respecter of things. If He did it to others, He'll do it for you. But you have to believe and have the faith and trust that God will see you through.
Indeed.
And I did. When you don't have anything else, you have everything. Because
Him.
you're with Him.
Yes.
That's when I say you have everything,
Yes.
because in Him you have everything.
Yes.
Without you even, because the strength I have, I don't know where it came from, but I know that night when I prayed that was what it is.
And I really believe that God's miracle has come to you through that strength. You found that true Prince Charming you've been dreaming about.
Yes.
So tell us more about your husband. I know that he's been a very wonderful instrument for God to really shine on you.
Right.
Through him, what He envisioned for you.
So my husband, I am so grateful to have a loving husband,
Yes.
a very supportive
And
husband.
his name is?
His name is Mark, and he it's like he's an answer to my prayers.
Yes.
After all the negative stuff of my past, it was hard to open up, and it's so normal to open up. I mean, it's so not to open up. But now when I met my husband, it took him over a year to pursue me, because I was afraid. There's still that part of me, and I said I was making it on my own. So why do I have to invite someone else? So I was going to that, and then he was patient. So him coming into my life and him very supportive with everything that I knew. He knew that I wanted to do something with helping out others who are going through the same thing. But sometimes timing is everything.
Yes.
I just do not know when am I supposed to do it. All I know is just deep down, I wanted to share this, and I don't know how.
Yeah.
So my husband said,
But before you share that, I want to share to our audience how much this man has loved and really cared for as our sister Cheryl. Not even before she became a queen. You are put like a queen and in a pedestal by Mark.
oh yeah. So, because that has been a struggle, because I was been single for 11 years.
Wow.
You know, before I decided to get married again. Yeah, so I, you know, so that's what I had. My husband, he is a blessing. He's a heaven sent to me, and his support to me. So then, you know, with every decisions that I like to do, he's there supporting me in every way he can.
And I see that, and I'm so happy for you, because you found the man who would put you in the pedestal and see you for your worth.
Yeah.
And I think not everyone is lucky enough to get such kind of a husband.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that your life, whatever you came from, that trauma, from the domestic abuse violence, now it is replaced by a man who gave you your worth, as well as now you are the representative of the worldwide beauty, inspiration, and integrity, the Mrs. Nebraska USA 2019.
Yeah.
So tell us more. Why did you choose to join this pageant?
Okay. How the pageant was, I was in Arizona, and then still trying to figure out, went back to Nebraska, still trying to figure out. A friend of mine mentioned it. I never really thought about it until I went to a women's conference in Oklahoma at Rhema Bible Church. I went there, and one of the guest speaker, you know, she said something that God put the desires in your heart. You know, and at that point in my life, a few months ago, I was in a crossroads, like, what am I supposed to do? Am I going to just be here as a plain housewife? Should I go back to work? Should I go back to school? So I said, Lord, what do I need to do? And then when she said that, she says, you know, God gave you the desires of your heart, and God never forgets.
That's
and,
true.
And He is no respecter of things. He said, what you have prayed years ago, you might have forgotten what you asked, but God did that.
Yes.
You know, so then, you know, so I started with that conversation. I said, okay, well, what are the things that I pray? Because I felt at that moment, you know, when you feel complete because you got a good husband, you have a checklist.
Yeah.
Okay, husband, I want to go places. I have this.
Got married to
you
this
know,
place.
Yeah, I was able to do this. You know, so I have this checklist, and then that's when I said, now, Lord, what? I says, what's going on with my past experience? I have the desires to share it to others.
Thank you so much, Shirel. I know that you have been through so much, but yet, as you mentioned earlier, God has so much miracle that come to your life, and that's including a love of your life. Somehow, her Prince Charming, the prince in the shining armor, finally has come to her life. Can you tell us more about this wonderful husband that you have?
Well, my husband, his name is Mark, and I met him through my ex-sister-in-law.
Wow.
You know, my ex-husband's family had been very supportive of me, and they said that I deserve a good guy because they know that their brother, their son, has issues. So they were saying that they know someone through a mutual friend that is a good man, and they introduced me. So I met him at a party that he was hosting. So I met him, and then we started talking. He was pursuing me for a year and a half.
Wow.
And
Hard to get ka pa.
yeah, of course, yeah. When you've been to a traumatic experience, you have to be careful.
To trust.
The trust issue,
Yes.
Exactly. So and I had baggage, and you know, so I met him, and I'm very grateful for my husband. He is awesome. He is very supportive. He supports me in everything that I do. I mean, I have him. I mean, every decisions that I make, I have I have.
You have his back.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's answered to my prayers. God answers prayer. I know, because my husband is what I had prayed for, that I even forget that I prayed for.
Oh.
And then when he came to my life, and the more I get to know him, yeah, he was the one that I was asking God.
Yeah. Now, God has given you a title, the Miss Nebraska USA 2019. Tell us more. What is Mrs. Nebraska 2019 and your platform in sharing about your experience?
So, Mrs. Nebraska 2019, how it came about is, first of all, I always have that earning. I wanted to share how can I help? How other women that had or that is going through what I had been going through, how can I tell them and reach to them and say, there's the light at the end of the tunnel that you can break the cycle.
Yes.
So my platform is breaking the cycle, standing up, no more hurt, standing up for domestic abuse. So, because I know there's an end to it. Mrs. Nebraska was one of the opportunity for me to be able to. And how it came about was I was here, talked to my friend, and she was telling me, she says, like, what are you doing? I am in a crossroad in my life, deciding going back to school, finish my nursing, or be just a plain housewife, find a job. I kind of trying to, after traveling international.
You traveled the world after leaving Arizona.
Yeah. So when I came back, so that's why I'm on the crossroads. So that was that. And then a friend of mine in Nebraska, her daughter is Miss Teen Douglas County 2019. And she
inspired you to
inspired me. But I was still not ready because, like, really, I don't think I never in my dreams being in having this pageant. Yeah, exactly. Never thought of that. So
but
then,
you act like a queen anyway.
oh, thank you.
With regal and always regal. Yes.
Thank you. So then we had, I went to a women's conference in Rima Bible Church. And of course I had been praying, and I'm still trying to search what direction should I be heading. And that one of the guest speaker was telling, one of the message that she said is that God does not forget what you had prayed. He knows your heart's desire, and you prayed for a desire of your heart. He will answer it on its right time. You might have forgotten it, but God did not.
Yes.
So it kind of like, well, okay, so it means to say, this earning is still God's putting in my heart.
Yes.
Because He gives you the desires of your heart. He is the one that put that desire. So that desire of able to reach out and help others,
empower
those.
Cheryl, super able, superable siya sa Pilipinas. Cheryl, super able Lindemann to the top. And whatever happens, Cheryl, we want to let you know how proud of us for what you have overcome, for what you have accomplished, and for what you will accomplish more in the future. As you were saying, you prayed for this in the past. But I think even without you praying for that, God has already planned so much for you. So for more details, where people can invite you to become their spokesperson in their community on this subject matter of domestic abuse, how can they contact you?
Okay, there's 3 ways actually that you can contact me. They can go to my fan page in Facebook, Mrs. Nebraska 2019. They can email me at Mrs. Nebraska 2019@gmail.com, or they can call me at 402-661-4217.
402-661-4217. Mrs. Nebraska 2019 at gmail.com.
Correct.
We will put that in our video for others to get more information on how they can contact you.
Yeah, I would love to bring more awareness out there.
Yes.
Because domestic abuse or abusive relationship is so rampant.
Yes.
And they're very subtle in the beginning. That's how vulnerable a lot of women are, because how it started is very, like, you couldn't even tell.
Yeah. You
And
think
then the
that
next
he still loves you.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, you're already in it, and you're already caught in the middle.
Yeah.
But you can break the cycle.
Yes.
You can break the cycle and stop it, but you have to take a leap of faith.
And the strength, just like Cyril. So thank you so much, Cheryl, for what you have accomplished and what you have done. I know with your title as Mrs. Nebraska USA 2019, you will continue to empower many more women, not only the Asian women, but many women who are experiencing and are in this situation. Thank you for empowering us. Thank you for giving us the inspiration for today. So for all of you, let's continue to support Cheryl, super able Lindemann, and God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless
Thank you,
you more.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you more, and see you soon.